Omar, what are you doing up, man? Hey, if you can, help me with this audio. Like, let me know if it sounds good, because I have a new setup, I guess. I don't know, it's... Yeah, I do. I have a new setup. I have a new audio interface, and I haven't streamed with this yet, and I don't know if I've got it set up right, so I guess if it sounds good, let me know. And if you can hear, you know, the ambience, let me know. Omar, help me figure this out before I start recording. Didn't realize this was a live chat. Okay, Omar says it sounds robotic, so something... Okay, I know what that means. Is that better? You sound like Al? Who is Al? No, I'm just kidding. I know. Alright. I think I made the switch. Let me know if this is better. I think I know what you mean by robotic, and I'm pretty sure I got it. Let me know, though. I guess I gotta keep talking for you to tell me if I sound better or not. La la la. Hey, everybody. So the goal is to, you know, read for, I don't know, like an hour, I guess, if I can make it. This is it. Omar says, that is better. It's good. Okay, cool. So the goal is just to, like, read, you know, some Glitch in the Matrix stories for, like, an hour. Ask me questions. I haven't done a live stream in months, dude. It's been a very long time. Mostly because I kept hitting mute on accident. And that just pissed me off. So I was like, fuck this, dude. I don't want to do this because I kept muting myself. It just made me mad. But I think, you know, I found the mute hotkey inside Streamlabs, and I disabled it. What's up, TA? Hope you've been good too, man. It's nice to see both of you in here. We'll start reading in, I guess, 7 minutes. Omar says, also, the ambience is good too. Alright, awesome. Thanks, guys. I'm going to put a little bit of sugar in this tea, and I'll be back in, I don't know, 45 minutes? Nah, for like 10 seconds. Omar says you figured out the mute? Yes. No, I didn't figure out the mute. It was, you know what it really was? There was a hotkey. It was the number 9 on my keyboard, and I guess I accidentally hit that when I'm like editing the audio sometimes. So I may record an entire story and then like go to, you know, the button next to the 9 key is also the delete button for me, just because that's how I set it up. And I guess when I was deleting things, I would like fat finger and then slip over to the 9 every now and then, muting the stream, which I didn't know how I was doing that. First milestone chat right here. Omar says, don't have much to say, just wanted to use it. 1 year membership anniversary. Thanks, Omar, for hanging out for one whole spin around the sun, dude. I'll be honest with you, dude. I'm grateful for you. Thank you. That means a lot. And I know, trust me, dude, I know when you're like, I miss the lo-fi videos. And what else? You know, you liked the on-camera readings. I liked all those things too, dude. I like the first time that I was super jazzed was when I figured out, oh, I like, scary stories. I like lo-fi music. Why don't I just, put them together? I was stoked. And I did that for a little while, but, nobody watched. Well, I take it back. You and I watched, Omar, but, nobody else did. As evidenced by, the number of views on those particular videos. I don't know. I was just kind of bum. Plus all the videos that feature me reading actually on camera also didn't do very well. So, I don't know. Just kind of listening to the audience and doing what they seem to like, As here we are. Your channel is my go-to sleep channel. Thank you, sir, says Blitz Monkey. No, Blitz Monkey, thank you. And I'm looking forward to some new people popping up in here and saying hello just like Blitz Monkey. When I say new, I mean like, people that don't comment a whole lot, or mostly what I mean is I haven't streamed in like a long time. I don't know when. I guess I could look up when the last time I streamed was, but it's been like 5 ever, dude, so I'm curious to see who pops in. Doesn't feel like it's been that long. Yeah. Raven Puff says, I really like your channel. Thanks, Raven Puff. Well, now that you got more members, I wonder how they would do. I don't think I do, man. I think I just have the one. Oh, unless you mean like subscribers. I don't know. Heather says, I've never been in a live. You mean like at all, or one of mine? Either way, that's exciting, man. That's very cool. I'm stoked for you. Welcome to your first Derek live stream, if that's the case, or your first ever live stream, if that's the case too. Here's the goal. I'm going to be reading some Glitch in the Matrix stories. I'm going to be hanging out with you, chatting, ask me whatever comes to mind. There's almost no rules. A bit of an AMA, if you will. Vomi says, hello. Cindy says, hey, from Oklahoma, fairly new to finding your channel. Dude, thank you. Means a lot, Cindy. And then Raven Puff says, been a long time subscriber. Okay, super badass. Thank you so much. Love to see that, dude. Let me put my glasses on. Watching from work in Southern California. A Derek live. Southern California. It's probably 8 o'clock where you are. Got the late shift, huh? All right. The clock is ticking, babies. I'm going to just find some stories to read. I got a couple new ones I need to put in my log here. Omar's being nice to everybody, saying, hey, thanks, dude. All right. 9? Oh. Okay, cool. I'm bad at time zones. I don't know. All right. I'm going to take a couple minutes, or I guess 40 seconds, to organize some things, and then we can kick this sucker off. I encourage you to talk amongst yourselves and say hi. Raven Puff says, just wanted to drop by. First Derek stream. I will stream myself on Twitch later. Take care. Thanks, dude. Hope you have a good stream later. Thanks for coming by. Hope your stream goes well. Uh-oh. Time's up. Let's switch the scenes real quick. Let's go from Silent Hill to... the stoop. We'll put that text right there just for anybody that's popping in. Oh, Joel is streaming right now too? Tight. Daddy Joel. Glitch of the Matrix stories are my favorite, says Cindy. Make me feel better knowing I'm not the only one with weird happenings. That's one of the... You know what, dude? Yeah, a lot of... I like Glitch of the Matrix stories because they're so relatable. You know what I mean? Not every single one of them is Lamp Guy. You know, they can't all be the Lamp Guy story, right? But that's the beauty of it, you know? It's like everyone's lost something for a couple days and then had that thing turn up in the same place they looked multiple times just days later, you know? Everyone's thought they were had blue glasses, but then found out they had black glasses. I don't know, maybe not that one, but it's all good. I'm glad you like the glitch story, Cindy, because that's what I'm doing tonight. All right, let's see. I guess we're going to start off with this one. It's called... it's loading. Has anyone ever experienced walls changing colors? Ooh. That should be a fun one. Also, and just in case you're new, or you don't know, I'm doing something called cold reading. I've never read these stories before hitting the record button, and I don't know, it's kind of a challenge for me, really, just to see if I can do it. But mostly it's a time thing, you know. Cindy says I have to send you when it's wild. Yeah, go ahead. You can send it to Derek Weber submissions@gmail.com. Derek Weber submissions@gmail.com. Before I go, Raven says, how do I submit my glitch story to you since nobody else will read them? You got the answer already, dude. Derek Weber submissions@gmail. Just make sure you spell, you know, Derek right. It's D-A-E-R-K. D-A... That was wrong. D-A-R-E-K. And then Weber, W-E-B-E-R. It looks kind of funny because it's not spelled right, but that's how you do it. Maybe I'll put it in the chat real quick. Two. Alright, so there you go. The spelling's in the chat now, everybody. It's kind of, you know, I spaced it out because I think I probably block links in my chat or email addresses in my chat, so that's why I did it that way, so that you can still read it. All right. Why didn't you say I spelled your name wrong? I don't know. I'm used to it. You might have. You probably did. I just misspelled it when I was spelling it out for everybody. All right. Work time. All right. So check this out. Has anyone ever experienced walls changing colors? Hey guys, something weird happened this weekend and I want to know if anyone has any similar stories. I couldn't find anything while searching the sub. My boyfriend's family have this house on the countryside where me and my boyfriend like to go spend time on the weekends. Like once... What the shit? Like to go spend the weekends. Okay, I don't know. My boyfriend's family have this house on the countryside where me and my boyfriend like to go spend the weekends, like once every 2 or 3 months. Ever since the first time I went to his house, this... I gotta get in the zone, gotta lock in here. Ever since the first time I went to this house, my boyfriend's room had its walls painted light green. Although the shade of green is pretty light, it's dark enough so you can distinguish it from other colors, especially white. Last month, I went to this house again, and the walls in his room were now fully white. I instantly noticed that it was looking different, and I said to my boyfriend that the room looked way better that way, with the white walls. My boyfriend looked at me like I was crazy and said, "What are you talking about? They've always been this color." I'm already used to him not paying attention to anything. He does have severe ADHD, so it's not weird that he's never noticed before. So I said that his room was green before, but he denied it again. And then I showed him on my phone a picture. Sean Gorman! Welcome back, baby. He denied it again, and then I showed him on my phone a picture of him inside the room with green walls. We laughed about his lack of attention to the world around him, and that was that. We spent the whole weekend there, and during that time, we slept in this room, now with white walls. Now, last weekend, his parents held the... Let me know if you guys heard that Mr. Feeney thing. I don't know how to set up sounds and stuff in Streamlabs, dude, but if you heard Eric Matthews just scream Mr. Feeney, please let me know, because that's the last thing I expect to hear when I'm reading a story like this. Thanks. Now, Now, last weekend, his parents held... What the fuck, dude? Now, last weekend, his parents held an event there. Okay. I think I just have to slow down. Now, last weekend, his parents held an event there, and I got there earlier to help with the preparations. As soon as I entered his room, the walls were painted light green again. I asked him if his father asked someone to paint the walls again, and, one more time, he said his walls have always been that color. I said, "No, man, last time I was there the walls were painted white. But maybe his dad painted them white and then painted them green again." He assured me that those walls were not painted again in a long time because you could still see the stains that have always been there. Which is true, I could see the old stains and all the marks too. I then mentioned that we already had this exact same conversation last time I was there, but with the white walls, and he remembered that right away. I said maybe his dad changed the light bulbs, but he was 100% sure that no one did such thing. Although my boyfriend's memory is not that reliable, I do believe that no one painted the walls again or changed the light bulbs. I mean, even if someone did, last month I could still see the room white with only the sunlight that came from the window, and there were very indeed, very old stains on the walls, and things like marks where the beds used to touch the walls, and little spots from insects that we killed. My boyfriend didn't care that much about this occurrence. He said it was weird, but quickly moved on. I saw many stories here about objects going missing, but I've never come across anything like this. Has anyone here ever experienced a similar event? Ooh, that's a cool one. The walls changed colors, and then they changed back. Spook. Sean says, my membership crapped out. Boo! Sorry, dude. I noticed, and I was like, oh, gonna miss that guy. But no, glad you're back, man. Vomi says, thank you for the stream. Actually gonna fall asleep to this and get tripped out by the stories. Good night, Vomi. Sleep tight. Sean says, I wish I had a P.O. box for D-Rock. I'd totally mail him a magic quarter. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. I need to get that magic quarter back from that Mexican restaurant that I accidentally spent it at like a dummy. Gonna take a quick second to edit. What if... Let me know if you guys can hear this. Ryan. Ryan Ryder. I'm sure that's not right. I've probably heard all your glitch stories. Only way I can go to sleep. Thanks, dude. Oh man, that's a trip. Thank you. You liked that effect? Okay, that was probably the robot effect that you liked. It wasn't intentional, but it does happen when I hit this button. But I think when I hit this button, you can also hear, like, my computer audio, for example. Did you hear that track that I just played? And can you also hear the... Fuck. And can you also hear this sound? This glitch sound? Let me know. Sean with a huge 20. After the goons at YouTube take their 30%, which they do, by the way, maybe it'll leave you with enough to invest, draw interest, save, and in 20 years you'll have enough to buy a paperclip or something. Cheers. I think I read that with the robo voice on. Sorry. Thank you, though, Sean. Thanks, dude, for the 20, man. Super appreciate it. Rates are dropping, boys. Rates are dropping. You just hear the echoey voice? Let me know if it's still echoey. Yeah. It shouldn't be. Let me know. I think I've got like the safest stream setting right now, which is really just like a fucking 30 sorry, I swore in case you got kids. Like a 30-second delay. So as soon as I think I fixed the problem. You guys don't know it for 30 whole seconds, and then, I don't know. I just gotta be patient. But I'm almost certain the robo voice is off now. Let's do some more. It is not. It is not what? It is not robo voice, or it is not normal. Cindy, I'm dumb, and I need you to help me out. Let's read some more. Ooh, this one's a parallel universe joint. The robo is off? Okay, cool. Yeah, this one's a parallel universe story. Thanks, Cindy. Having the same dream as someone else, but different perspectives. So, this actually happened close to a year ago now. It weighed on my mind a lot then, but I didn't know what to do about it. Something reminded me of it today. So I thought that I would... Why did I pause for so long? Something reminded me of it today, so I thought that I would share since the initial fear has worn off. Last August, my fiancé and I were both working weird restaurant schedules, so we didn't keep in contact with our families the best. Especially me. My parents lived an hour away, and we'd had a falling out some time before, but we were working on it. I don't usually have dreams that I remember, especially ones that create genuine, long-lasting emotions, but one night, I did have this vivid dream. My fiancé had been diagnosed with something terminal, in my dream, by the way, which was very shocking since he's incredibly healthy. We come to terms with it, and we're told that he has extremely limited time, so we plan a staycation. It's supposed to be just me and him riding out his last days. I know that exact of a timeline isn't really realistic, but in the dream it was like we had a timer. Anyway, some other things happen that aren't relevant to the story. He passes and I'm just beside myself with grief. I call my father, sobbing, and that's the last thing that I remember in my dream. I wake up, frantically grabbing for my fiancé, waking him up, and I say, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Does anything feel fine? Does everything feel fine?" Other than a surprise interrogation at 4 a.m., everything was fine. I watched him like a hawk for days. And like I said, it's been almost a year, so the worry has faded. Cool. Nothing crazy there. Just a weird dream. About a couple days later, things are returning to normal. I'm calming down. And he's at work, so I decide to go see my parents for a bit. We're talking, hours go by. We start talking about weird dreams that we've had somehow, and my dad tells me a few nights prior he woke up out of a dead sleep, covered in sweat from a dream of me frantically calling him, sobbing, saying that there was something wrong with my fiancé. Sure, it's probably nothing, and my fiancé's health proved to be fine. But my dad and I hadn't talked in a month, and never about my spouse's health either. And to have different sides of the same dream on the same night. I just don't know what to think of that. Whoa, spook. Omar's counting my dog clicks. Thanks, man. That's what the sound is, by the way. Anytime I flub a line, somebody says, or Sean says, I missed the tongue click, though it made D-Rock kind of unique. Then again, the training clicker is an amazing idea. Very innovative. Yeah, so a little bit of backstory on that. Anytime I would flub a line, mess up a part of the story, it's just easier for me to visually go back to the audio file and see those loud spikes. This dog clicker, that makes a big ass vertical spike in the audio waveform. So really all I have to do is just zoom out. Can I show you? Yeah. So here's an example, right? So you can see I got a bunch of words, and then like clearly this spike right here, this cacat, I'm gonna call it a cacat from now on. That sound, that dog clicker makes a big ass spike. So all I've got to do is like zoom out of the story and see that I messed up 1, 2, 3 times, 4, 5, God I suck, 6 times in the whole story. I just go to those big spikes, and then I know that the little bit of audio before the spikes needs to be edited. So, and yeah, I used to do that prevents me from like having to listen to the entire story again after I just read it. I don't know. That's just my ADHD being a little bit on hyperdrive. So yeah, let me do that now in real time. Caca. All right, and that's kind of what it looks and sounds like when I edit one of my stories. It's just that. Cindy says, I knew it had to be marking flubs, but didn't know how you'd go back to find it. Genius idea. This idea was straight up stolen from a YouTuber named Booth Junkie. He is he's a narrator, audiobook guy, voice actor. And he used to do the tongue click too, I think, which really just sounds like this. It's like a winking sound. But if my mouth is dry, or if I accidentally turn away from the mic a little bit too much, the spike that, generates from that tongue click isn't as pronounced as this dog clicker. This thing is consistent AF, dude. So I just switched to the tongue clicker because it's more consistent and it's easier for me to see when I zoom out. And then, of course, well, you saw how I did it in real time. Can I get rid of this? Let me know. Do we want the software on the screen for a while, or do we want the visual on the screen? Let me know. If I can figure out how to make a poll in like less than 30 seconds, I will. Let me see. Nope. I can't figure out how to make a poll in less than 30 seconds, so not gonna do it. Just leave a comment. Leave a comment in the chat if you want to, if you care one way or the other, because I can do the visual, this little stoop visual, or I can, take us back to the recording software and we go from there. Sean says, could you maybe just give the mic a flick with your finger? I'd almost think that would create the same audio spike. Or maybe, I don't know anything about tech. Well, let's see. I'm going to turn the robo voice on just for this thing. And I'm going to flub a line. And I just flick the mic. And no, dude, like I didn't hear it. What if I flick it up here? No. Nah, because my flicks aren't consistent. No. Not a bad idea. But no. Like, as you can see right here, this is flicking one part of the mic. Oh, I didn't have my shit on. So this actually, it got quieter. So this dip right here, this is flicking one part of the mic. And then these very different flicks over here is flicking a different part of the mic. But nah, like you can see how different they are. Plus, like nothing beats that big ass click right there, dude. Alright, let's find some more stories. Shall we? Well, come on. Oh, we got a simulation theory story. Here we go. What's the strangest coincidence you've ever experienced? I've had two weird ones, and they both involve women related to my stepdad. First, when my ex and I got out of the military, we moved back to Tucson, where we had bought a house during our second to last duty assignment. We decided to spend a weekend at a resort in San Diego for my 28th birthday. While out by the pool, I heard someone call my name, but I ignored it because I didn't know anyone in the area, so I figured they were calling someone else with my name. But she called again, and I turned around, and it was my stepsister, who I hadn't seen in years. She had lived in LA with her mom since we were kids. She came to the same resort on the same weekend as me, with no communication between us. She was with friends who drove from LA to San Diego for some wine tasting thing. The second coincidence was a few years later. I had found my dad through a 23andMe test. It matched me with a first cousin that I didn't know, so I asked her if she might be my bio dad's niece. From there, I got in contact with him, and he did 23andMe to confirm. About a year later, he invited me on a vacation with him and his other daughter. They live in Seattle, but he got a VRBO in the ski resort / lake town that I grew up in Idaho. While we were there, I let my step-relatives know that I was in town, and my stepdad's sister invited us out for drinks. When we showed up, my bio dad and step-aunt recognized each other right away. He'd been out there with some old army friends a few years before, and my aunt was a friend of a friend. They hadn't stayed in contact or anything. They had no idea that I was connected, and us going out to the bar was literally the second time they met. My mom hasn't even seen my bio dad since she got pregnant with me, and didn't have any idea where he lived. And he didn't know that I even existed until I was 30, years after he first met my stepdad's sister. Do you all have any strange connections like this? Do you think it supports simulation theory? Type 1 if you followed all that. Type 2 if you didn't, if you got lost like 25% of the way through. Sean says, yeah, I suppose consistency is important. I was thinking about a finger snap too, but again, probably inconsistent. Yeah, dude. You are filled to the brim with great ideas, man. But yeah, that finger snap, depending on what hand I do it with, yeah, right. Two all the way. Depending on what hand I do it with, and then, of course, if I'm accidentally too far away from the mic, it doesn't, I don't know. Read it again. I messed up twice. Watched Deadpool and Wolverine a couple of weeks ago. That was dope. I don't go to the movies often. I got 2 little kids, and they don't sit still for more than about 38 seconds. So it's hard to go out. I think we all need another stab at that story. Man, this video will come out. Don't torture me like that, dude. This video will come out, hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll listen to it then. We'll all meet back here, same place, and we'll get a recap of that story together. Okay, I will not spoil Wolverine and Deadpool. Promise. But dude, it is so good, man. I loved it. I got nothing but good things to say. Okay, that's all you get. Sean hasn't seen it yet, so we will not talk about it. Shh. Yeah, somebody said they missed... Omar says they missed the tape deck flip sound effect. Yeah, I missed those too. I'm telling you, dude, we miss the same stuff, Omar. You and I like the same stuff, but you know, when you make creative things on the internet, every single thing you put on the internet is essentially an experiment, just to see how people react to it. You know, just to see what kind of response you get. And when you experiment with a bunch of things, one of those things eventually sticks, and in this case, the tape deck didn't stick. Alright, just doing some editing right quick. Hang with. And for real, I mean, I got Ask Me Anything on the screen here, so, you know, if you got any burning questions, like how does Wolverine and Deadpool end, I'm your guy. I'm just kidding. We're not talking about that. No, I'm just messing, Sean. I won't. Appreciate it. Thank you, but nah, I won't do that. No spoiler alerts necessary because we're not spoiling. Omar says, well, now that you got more subscribers, I think you might find more people like the stuff that we like, and I know where you're coming from, dude. But guess which videos got me those subscribers? Not the lo-fi ones. Not the on-camera ones. Got a bunch of subs over the last couple months. And most of them are coming from like just a small handful of videos. Yeah, dude, like I said, they're not the lo-fi ones or the on-camera ones. But yeah, I see where you're coming from. And it might be worth a shot to experiment a little bit more. Let's find another story. I want to see Twister's too. Twister was begging for so many unanswered questions, dude. We needed a second one. The rock gods returned my missing shoe. So, this happened a couple years ago, but I wanted to share. When I was in college, I used to go hiking and trekking a lot with my friends. We used to do it within the campus itself. I mean, our campus was massive. It was an ancient institution that was spread across hundreds of acres of forest land, rocks, ponds. You get it. It's quite beautiful, but colossal. Once, on a hiking trip, some 30 or so kilometers away from my dorm, I lost one of my hiking shoes. I was quite upset, as I didn't want to ask my parents for money to buy a new pair, and I loved this one. I wasn't sure where it went, but I was sure that it had fallen off a cliff when we were rock climbing. It's quite a risky activity without any safety gear, but it was a beloved ritual on every full moon night when there was enough light. I had removed it briefly to sit cross-legged and tell ghost stories with my friends. I somehow returned with some difficulty without the shoe. What did I just read? I somehow returned with some difficulty without the shoe. A couple of weeks after that incident, I was walking back from class and into the communal mess, looking down and thinking of the shoe that I'd lost. I looked up, and as though magic, the lone shoe was in front of me, literally in the middle of the road that led to the mess. It was no worse for wear, and I had no idea who put it there. I rushed back to my room thinking it was the piece that I had, but lo and behold, the other one was under my bed where I'd kept it. I still don't know how to... I rushed back to my room. It was the piece. It was the piece I had? What? What are we saying? He lost his shoe and then he found it, and then all of a sudden he rushed back to his room thinking it was the piece that he had. No, I think Big Sean, he took his shoe off while he was rock climbing so that he could sit on it. I don't know. Let me go back for a sec. He says, I had removed it briefly to sit cross-legged and tell ghost stories with my friends. I'll get the fuck out of here. Okay. So he noticed. He knew he lost his shoe because he took it off so that he could sit on it so that he could tell stories. Okay. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to take one of my slippers off. I got house shoes on, you guys. I'm going to take one off and just sit on it real quick. Okay. Let's finish this. I rushed back to my room, thinking it was the piece that I had, but lo and behold, the other one was under my bed where I'd kept it. I still don't know how it appeared in front of me like that precisely when I was thinking about it, weeks after I'd lost it so far away from where I lived. He titled that "The Rock Gods Returned My Missing Shoe," and I just thought that he like was at a rock concert, was moshing, and then lost his shoe, but then found it. That's what I thought, but I was wrong. What's up, Bear? Sweetly Morbid Bear. Where are you coming from? Nice to see you. All right, and he's back. I wonder if I remember, I'll put the audio software on the screen when I'm editing next, so nobody's like, "What are these weird sounds?" Sean says, I love some of these stories. I try not to be judgmental, though some of the submissions are from people, I believe, whose first language isn't English. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure there's a lot lost in translation, for sure. Yeah, dude. Yep. You know, I don't know if you missed it earlier, but earlier in the stream, I mentioned the relatability to these Glitch in the Matrix stories. You know, as somebody who reads scary stories and creeper stories and stalker stories and ghost stories and glitch stories, I haven't done a bunch of those in a long time, but as somebody who's like read a bunch of those and even dark web stuff, which I've got a new dark web video on the way, by the way. The scary stories are cool because, like, not everybody's been chased home by an angry trucker who was, like, shooting them. You know what I mean? Like, and, like, made it to their apartment door just barely in time to break the window, you know? So people like that shit because it's just so wild and crazy because it doesn't happen. And the other side of that coin is glitch stories. A lot of people like the glitch stories because of exactly how relatable they are. Like everybody's lost something, spent days looking for it, and then finally had it just sometimes literally fall into their lap a month later. Like, that happens, you know? But also, you go one level deeper than that, and they're almost a little bit too relatable, you know? Like, yeah, and some of the submissions kind of lose their charm when it's like, you know, I'm not going to give any specific examples, but I don't know. People like to, you know, just a little, drop a camera into somebody else's life for a couple minutes to see how closely it resembles their own, and I think glitch stories do that. Bear says, you have a wonderful voice for narration. Thank you, Bear. Still got merch. My secret club hoodie is still one of my favorite articles of clothing. I need another. Yeah, I still got merch. In fact, I redid my merch store. What does that mean? I switched to a distributor that is known for having higher quality. And before I did that, I bought a couple of pieces for my own closet and wardrobe for me and Mrs. Weber, just to really like test out, you know. So we have several Derek Weber t-shirts and hoodies and stuff, and a hat still, because I want to actually like buy the product from the new merch store. and make sure that it's legit, and it is. So if you liked the existing clothes that you've already bought, and you're like, man, it's been a while, I want another one. Maybe I've gone up a size or down a size or something, or just want like a new winter hoodie. The new merch store is in the description right now in this very live stream right here. There's a link in the description. It's even called New Merch Store. And yeah, you'll find a bunch of stuff in there. Not a bunch. I try not to have like a lot of designs because I just want to keep it simple. So yeah, you'll recognize some of them. Okay. Let's read some more. Yeah. And thanks, Bear, for that compliment, dude. That's super cool. For all of my adolescent and adult life, people have been like, damn, you have a face for radio. And I was like, cool, thank you. And I even went to school for radio and television because I wanted to be like a news reporter, But and I did that. I actually interned at a news station for a couple of semesters, and I liked it, but I don't know, just ended up doing something else. And so now I get to, read. Now I get to read about an hour every single week. I don't know, helps people fall asleep too, so it's all good. And just, if you're wondering, maybe we can kick off the questions here. Takes me about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, to make the hour-long videos that you see on YouTube every week. But between, a full-time job, 2 kids, a couple of other hobbies, that's really all I got right now. So yeah, I can do 2.5, 3 hours a week, which really, after editing and uploading and stuff, shakes out to about an hour's worth of finished audio that goes into a video for you every single Sunday afternoon. That's what I'm doing. That's the jam. Blitz Monkey says, oh, what? I'd love to see the design of the falling man from your intro. Oh. That's funny. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's actually, so that falling man is like my avatar, right? That's like the guy that represents me, with his hat, his glasses, and his red jacket. But the voice, that's not my voice. That's Jensen's voice. I don't know if you guys know who the original Jensen is, but he's another creator, and he's been in the narration community a lot, and he's done a bunch of stuff. He made that whole 3D intro as well. So he, not only did he provide my voice in the intro, which is weird that I didn't write, but he made the intro too. He got the music, 3D Blender rendered, all of that stuff. And I don't remember the exact conversation, but I just told him I wanted, I was like, hey dude, I've always been no intros. Like, I don't want an intro to my videos. That's so dumb. People are going to skip it. But I decided to try it out anyway. And, a lot of the comments that I get are like, this is the best intro on YouTube I've ever seen. So Jensen did a good job making it and voicing me. I grew up watching the original Twilight Zone reruns in the 80s. This channel takes me there again. That's dope, dude. I love the Twilight Zone. Love it. I get as I just said, full-time job, 2 kids, bunch of hobbies, this channel. I get very little time where I get to just sit down and, do nothing. Very rarely. Once every couple months for like a couple hours. But when that comes around, I sit down, I sit my butt on the couch, and I put on the Twilight Zone. The old school 60s black and white Twilight Zone. So that's what I do for, like, you know, when I get me time, is ass on the couch, maybe some popcorn and some Twilight Zone. It's really nice. So I'm glad, I don't know what I do that, you know, takes you back to that, but I'm glad that it's something. That's cool, man. Still doing content for Creeper Keeper? No. No. That's the short answer. Long answer is really like, you know, medium answer is, again, when you just have like an itch, it's like a creative itch. I have bad ADHD, dude. And when you just get this like wild idea to like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I tried this, you know? And yeah, it's the same. It's my voice reading scary stories, but the visuals are a little bit different, and it's got whole new branding. I couldn't put a Creeper Keeper video on the Derek channel because people would be like, what the fuck is this, dude? Or at least I think they would. So, you know, I make a new channel. I call it Creeper Keeper because I don't know what the fuck else to call it. And then I just see what happens. And I I think I put up, I don't know, 8, 10 videos. And they got decent views. For the number of subscribers, they got very decent views. But that itch was scratched, so I stopped it. I don't know. Oh, I never, oh yeah, Sean says, I never made the connection, but you're so right. Great connection. Thanks, guys. Bear says, you must have awesome bedtime stories for your kids if they're not scary trolls under the bed stories. Yeah. I love reading to them, dude. One of the first, you know, kind of things that I did where I used my voice to their benefit was when I just had one kid. I would record audiobooks, you know, like you have like these little 4-page books about a dog who, you know, has an adventure and then comes back home to take a nap. Like that's just 4 or 5 pages and it's just a kid's book. And I recorded myself reading that book for him. It's called Buddy Dog's Busy Day. And, you know, I put it on my phone, and I would just, when we would go for car rides, I would put that recording of me through my car speakers so that he could hear it, and his face would always light up. And I started the audio file with, you know, hey, and I said his name, hey, Mommy and Daddy love you. This is Buddy Dog's Busy Day. And then I just read the story, and we listened to that over and over and over again. So that was, I guess that was like my first, you know, that was like, oh, maybe I can do this like on the internet for people. Do you still read for that one manga channel? No, I don't. No, they stopped hitting me up. I think, which is weird because a bunch of the videos that I did for them are some of the most watched videos on the channel. But they ended up just like switching to like an edit style. So instead of putting up like a 10-minute, you know, video essay about different animes and mangas and stuff, they're putting up 2-minute videos where it's just like, albeit it's pretty badass and intense edits of like anime, you know, like the music is dope and the visuals are dope and it's kind of like hype stuff. So that's kind of what they're doing now. But I don't know. There wasn't ever like an official, hey, we're releasing you because we're going to do this now. It was more just like they stopped emailing me. I don't know. I'm wondering where that doorway is, and if I ever find it, I'd totally park my ass in that chair and light up a cigar. So if you don't recognize the doorway, it's fine. It's okay. We can still be friends. But there's an episode of Hey Arnold. I think it's called Stoop Kid. And it's a story about a kid that was allegedly born on this very stoop. And he's never left it. He is, I guess, homeschooled. and he like owns this stoop basically. He's like 12, right? He owns the stoop, and the only thing that he does is he just like barks at people as they walk past, and he just gives them shit. He bullies them. And he's like, "Get off my stoop. Ah, ha, ha, ha. You're not allowed on my stoop." And then it's revealed one day that stoop kid doesn't know how to read. So Arnold, being the philanthropic fellow that he is, he convinces stoop kid to come off of his stoop. Because it's not scary. He was really scared to come off the stoop because there's a whole world on the other side of these steps right here that he's never explored. He can see it from a stoop, but he's never been on the sidewalk before. So Arnold convinces him to come down off the stoop, and he teaches him how to read. And it's kind of silly because you'd think that, being shown the world, not really the world, but like the neighborhood that he lives in, and like the city that he lives in, he would come back to his stoop, also learning how to read, wiser, much more mature, person who's just not afraid to leave the stoop, and he's not going to bully people for getting too close either. But no, now now that he's not afraid to leave the stoop, he'll chase you down the sidewalk, just shitting on you, which is so funny. Mod's here. What up, Mary? So yeah, that's where the doorway is. Again, this visual is made by Jensen. Dude's a freaking 3D genius. So yeah, he'll take a 2D Hey Arnold image and he'll turn it into this. It's so cool. Welcome in, Mary. Freaking welcome in. It's that one Nickelodeon cartoon. Yeah. Sean says, all the creators I follow are the best dads. Well, yeah. Thanks, dude. Not me, dude. All the freaking creators that I look up to or, kind of want to emulate in some way, they all end up fucking being accused of some shit. So, not me. Not me. And then I learn about it. I'm like, dang, I don't want to be like you at all. Never mind. What up, Mary? Welcome in. Mary, thank you. Mary does a bunch of work for the channel. She makes the channel run super smooth so that I can just jump on and read stuff. You know what I mean? Grateful for Mary. She helps me get a bunch of... If you didn't know, I haven't read a fucking story in 20 minutes. I will, I promise. But if you didn't know, it's like just good practice to get permission to read all these stories. I read for the last 2 or 3 months now, 40-ish stories a week, which adds up to about an hour a week. Sometimes it's 50 if the stories are really short. But yeah, let's just call it 45. I read about 45 stories a week lately. And a lot of that is because Mary's put in the work to get those permissions for me. So not only is Mary the mod, but she is the wizard behind the curtain in a lot of respects. So thank you, Mary. All right, this story is called Dog Came Back Inside Window, but I Don't Know How. This happened yesterday, and I'm sure there's an explanation, but I have no clue how, but I'm so happy this happened. My sister lives across the street and has a 14-year-old dog who has to be picked up and carried up steps and to get into the bed. He was at my house hanging out, so I let him outside yesterday morning through the front door to go pee. I was hoping that it'd be a quick pee, but he started walking up the driveway, sniffing around, so I stepped back inside. I closed the door and continued cooking breakfast when I had to run across the street to my sister's to grab a container. Once I walked outside, I was like, oh crap, I left him outside. I didn't see him while walking over to her house, so when I got to her door, I asked if he came to her house or if he was in her backyard, but she said he wasn't there. It's normal for him to wander off, but I know people don't play about their dogs and started to panic like, oh my God, did I just lose her dog? I start looking around outside, calling his name. He always comes when his name is called, so I was panicking even more once I realized there was no sign of him outside. I went back into the house, searching, and went upstairs in a desperate attempt looking for him. But knowing good and well, he can't go up steps. You guys, not only was this dude upstairs, but he was laying on the bed, sleeping. I mean, snoring. Best sleep of his life. Now, mind you, the bed is at least 2 feet off the ground, and this little dude can't even get on the couch, barely even a dog bed on the floor, let alone a bed that high off the ground. I was so relieved to find him, but I have no idea how, but I'm so thankful that I didn't lose him. His mom would have never forgave me. How'd that dog end up on the bed? How'd he do that? How, Sway? Sean says, I'm a mod for one creator. He modded 12 people, plus one. And the one being his greatest monetary contributor. That was me. You bought the blue wrench? Do you want a blue wrench for me too, Sean? If you can be trusted, to keep order and justice out on these streets, then I think you can probably be trusted to, do the same thing in my little chat here. Dang, guys, I didn't mess up at all during that story. I zoomed out looking for the clicks, but there are none. I read that story perfectly. Patting myself on the back. The Dirty Dozen. Plus one. Mary is all you need. Deal. If you change your mind, Sean, just give me the signal. We don't even have to set a signal, because I'll just know what it is. Omar says, flawless reading. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. Let's do some more here in a second. That's because you're the golden voice of YouTube. Stop right there. Stop it. Stop it. My head is already too big. Knock it off. I did do some, I'm going to call it YouTube math, which is so dumb. But early in the year, Q1, I looked at my sub count and the trending numbers every week, every month or whatever. And I did some YouTube math and I figured, you know what, if I kind of just keep growing at the same pace that I'm growing at now in Q1, I will be at 4,500 subscribers by the end of the year. I was like, cool, that's badass. Can't wait. This was in like February, March, I think. So I was like, cool. In like 9 or 10 months, the math says I'll be at 4,500 subscribers, by Christmas, let's just say. Well, I did the math again, and without even realizing it, I hit 5,000 subscribers in July. So that was a cool surprise for me. And if you're a new subscriber within the last 3 or 4 months, you're part of that growth. So I want to thank you for that. That means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I said face for radio. You know what I mean by that. Weird thing with time. Okay, so I've never posted here before, but I found this sub a while ago after I continually experienced something I can only explain as a glitch. And I'm still experiencing it to this day. It's a fairly minor thing as far as glitches are concerned, but still strange enough to give me pause. For the last year or so, I'll look at the time, and this can be on anything, like the stove, my phone, my Fitbit. I'll make a note of it. I'll often check the time again in what seems like a few minutes later. I do this because... because why? I do this because often I'll check the time initially, make note that I've got to leave or start doing something in 5 or 10 minutes, and then check again. Numerous times per week, when I do this, a large amount of time has passed. As an example, I'll check the time and it'll read 12:05. I'll check it again, seemingly minutes later, and it'll read 12:50. Thank you, Sean, for the 5 gifted subs. That's crazy. Jessica, welcome to the channel membership. I forgot what it was called because I don't promote it. Mel, welcome. Newts your chin, welcome. Sitting on defense. Sicily, you guys are awesome. He says, speaking of members, look at them all flocking to your altar. Sean, you kidnapped them, threw them in your car, and drove them right up to my door. That's what just happened. Thanks, buddy. Let's talk about the YouTube membership for a second. What that is, and I got some catching up to do, let me be honest, is exclusive content that is not made public. Really, it's just some fun stuff that it's, how do I put it? A lot of it is like creepypastas, like classic creepypastas, some shit that like got me into reading scary stuff. So I'm revisiting that. Some of it's in the lo-fi style that Omar and I really enjoy. If I stream semi-regularly, I'll do members only streams. So, but we got to wait and see. Blitz Monkey says, I'm a Raven Reads fan, but YouTube algorithm turned me onto your channel. Haven't been back to Ravens now in a while. Raven Reads? Yeah, is she still... She's still doing the dang thing, right? Let me check her out. Raven Reads. Yeah, still going. Jesus, she posts every other day. Cool. I think... let me finish the story and then I'll talk about who got me into narrating. You might be thinking, well, easy. She's just losing track of time. But it's happened during activities that I know don't take as much time as the clock is stating. I'll walk my dogs around the block. I know it takes 20 minutes. I'll check the clock and it'll say 1:20 before I go. I check it 10 minutes into my walk and it'll say 1:50. I'm not just checking time obsessively either. Oftentimes I'll make note of the time when checking a text message on my phone, and it even happens then too. I'll get a text message at 11:30. I'll go to answer it at what should be 10 minutes later, but the time will say 12 o'clock. I don't know. I hope I'm explaining this in a way that's understandable. It's really been bugging me lately. At first, I was able to brush it off, but... I would think I must have misread the time when I first looked. But when it started happening so frequently, I started to wonder, what the hell was going on. That happens to me a lot too, but it's just for me. I think it's called time blindness. I don't know. I don't like. It feels like a made up, fucking condition that people just use it as an excuse, but maybe it's a real thing. It feels real. I think it's called time blindness. Like, dude, it's like, I know that I have to, like, let's say I'm getting ready for work in the morning and I have to leave at 7:40. If I want to make it on time, I got to be out that door at 7:40. So I look at the clock and it's 7:30, right? I'm like, shit, yes, I got 10 minutes. This is great. So I like pour like a second bowl of cereal. I get another cup of coffee maybe. Do whatever, right? And in my head, it's still 7:30. I still have 10 minutes before I have to leave, even after pouring and eating a bowl of cereal and or coffee and or whatever it is. That's what I do. Which sucks. It's so childish, dude. I hate that about myself. What I should do is just when I see I have 10 minutes left to leave, I should just leave then. Be at work early. But no. Perpetually annoyed. Hey, welcome to the stream, dude. Alright, editing time. The robo voice is back on, and so is my recording software. Haha. So what I'm doing is editing out, like, me reacting to the chat. Because that can't go in a video. What's our favorite movie here in the chat? I got a bunch, but Coraline comes to mind. That should totally go on the video. Let people know how much fun we have. Yeah, right. I know, huh? I do. Every now and then. I make a mistake, but I don't click the mistake because I'm just in the zone or I just forget. I don't know. But like 1 out of every 4 videos, and Omar can probably attest to this too because he points it out to me, but I'll leave a mistake in the video and not edit it out, right? Because I missed the click or whatever. But every time I do that, I get like embarrassed. I get nervous. I'm like, oh shit, there's a mistake in there. But I don't know. People, like, the comments on those particular videos are like, haha, it's funny how you got it wrong and then laughed at yourself. I subscribed. Okay. It's like, thank you. You know, I don't want to abuse that, but it is. I notice it and I see it and it's so funny. Omar's fave movie is Aliens from '86. The Fifth Element. Yes. Yes, dude. The Fifth Element taught me that the meaning of the universe is, It's 42. Our favorite movies are Christine, The Fifth Element, and Aliens, and Coraline. That's my personal one. I just like how creepy it is. And the music is so good, too. I recently learned that, and you know what, dude? I will watch a 2-hour deep dive video analysis of Coraline or The Truman Show or fucking Wayne's World. Those are my top 3. Or Dumb and Dumber, even. Top 4. I'll watch like insanely long breakdowns and like retrospectives of those movies. But if somebody sends me an Instagram reel that is more than 30 seconds, I'm so offended. I turn into that, brother. I turn into that guy. I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? I'm not watching 42 seconds of this. Ugh. But yeah, I will watch an hours-long Silent Hill retrospective. Perpetually annoyed likes the mistakes. Yeah, right. You know, I guess it's a bit of a fourth wall break. It kind of reminds you that I'm an actual human and not AI. And that not only are these stories kind of relatable and, I don't know, interesting, but the guy reading them is relatable too. Because he fucks up a lot. And sometimes his mistakes make it in the video. If you can count. All right. Let me find another story. You guys are doing great. Don't change a thing. Uh-oh. This one is called Guy on Bike Disappeared. I'm waiting for a train to arrive. It's rather insignificant. It is rather insignificant regional train route, and this stop is just one. What if I read like that? Fuck. It is rather insignificant regional train route, and this stop is just one rail and a small rooftop. Right behind this. It's a metal fence. All right, cool. Not dogging on this dude, but right away he says sorry for bad English. So, let me proofread real quick. Maybe send it through like a translator. Oh, yeah, and I'll get that sometimes too. So not only does Mary get permissions for me to read the stories, but I do as well. And it's so wild, man. Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, can you please make me sound smart? Because, and they're not saying that in jest, they're saying that because they really are nervous because the English is not their first or even second language sometimes. And, they're like, please don't make me sound like a bumbling foreigner. And I'm always like, yeah, dude, I got your back. I will not do that, I promise. So this is kind of a way, by proofreading and running it through like a grammar checker, helps me with that. If you've noticed, I haven't muted myself on accident at all this stream. Guy on bike disappeared. I'm waiting at a small, insignificant train stop. Just a single rail and a tiny rooftop. Behind the stop, there's a metal fence and a factory. Probably something to do with metal processing. As I stand there, I notice a man riding a bike behind the fence. He looks like a worker, probably heading to work on his bike. He rides past me, and out of curiosity and boredom, I turn around to watch him. I had to take a step back and turn a bit more to get a better view because of the way the fence is designed. The metal beams are curved in a way that you can clearly see Huh? The metal beams are curved in a way that you can see clearly to one side, but not the other. I don't know how to explain it perfectly in English, but it was only about 2 to 3 seconds from when I first noticed him to when I turned around and looked to where I expected him to be. But he wasn't there. He was nowhere in sight, which seemed impossible given the layout, the buildings, and the open space, and the fence. There was nowhere for him to hide nearby. He wasn't going fast at all when I saw him first. It really just feels like he vanished. What the heck? What the heck indeed? Here comes the robo voice for editing. I can't believe anyone would deny permission. I'd listen to you read a Chinese mash. Shut up, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Let me turn my robo off. Those comments are so... They make me laugh so hard. I'd listen to you read a receipt. I'd listen to you read a Chinese menu. Oh, it means the world to me. Because I get the sentiment, you know? Thank you. And I guess the part that makes me laugh the most is just like the most... Whatever mundane item that they happen to name that they want to hear me read, it kind of makes me like want to do it. You know, like I went to Kohl's today. I can read the receipt. Then you guys will know that I bought 2 shirts. I can't believe anyone would deny permission. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. One, at least, I don't know Mary's, conversion rate. But I know my own, and yeah, I would say probably 1 out of every 30 says no. Let me put it this way. I might ask 25 people, and 20 of them reply, which is really good. That's a great reply rate, considering you're really just like spamming random Reddit accounts saying, hey, I read stories on the internet. Can I read yours? Right? So I may ask 25 people, 20 reply, and then maybe 1 will be like, no, I do not give you permission. I don't know, and I never ask why. I'm always respectful. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, bet. I see your denial, and I'm replying to it so that you know that you told me no, and that I have no chance of like accidentally not seeing it and reading it anyway. That'd be fucked up. So I replied basically saying thank you for the reply, and also I see the no in there. Yeah, like 1 out of 20, maybe not that often, but still. And I never know why. I want to ask sometimes, but it's none of my dang business, you know what I mean? But if I had to guess, I don't know, maybe they just don't like, quote unquote content creators. You can't use my experience for your content, for your silly little content. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Now that I think about it, when I was asking, and Mary can probably attest to this too, when we ask people that went through like trafficking incidents or had like a very dangerous stalker for years, just torment them. When we ask those kinds of people to read their stories, the conversion rate on that is a lot less than glitch stories, right? Because those stories are probably, well, they most certainly are a lot more emotionally driven and a lot more personal to the person. I mean, yes, they're like putting it on a public website and inviting people to read about that. But that's it. Some of them are just like, that's all I want to do. No, I don't want you to retell my story because, maybe there's an element of that into it. And yeah, Mary says trauma shit definitely gets a lot of no. Yeah, and you would know that, Mary, more than I would, because you ask, or at least we used to, when we were doing those stories a whole lot, you would ask them a lot more than I would. But doing the glitch stories a lot more often now than anything else, people are like excited. Like, yeah, oh my God, I didn't think my story was, podcast worthy, but oh my God, yes, please, thank you so much. Let me know when it's up so I can listen to it. I get that a lot for the glitch stories. Because they're just, admittedly, they're compared to being gunned down by somebody or like literally thrown in a van, losing your blue t-shirt for a couple weeks it's a different experience. So I get a lot more yeses on the glitch stories, What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so that's why people would deny me permission. That's a plus, Derek, for not muting yourself. Thank you, Mary. Word. Okay, yeah, thanks, Mary, for handling the chat down there for me. She's like telling the story of asking legit scary stories, and then I'm like talking about glitch stories. Very different experiences. I do have, maybe if I can find like a short scary story. No, fuck it, maybe we'll do a ghost story. Let me know in the chat if you want me to sneak in a ghost story in this glitch video. I'll do it, man. I will do it. Just for you. What is next? Oh, guy on a bike. Sean says, I can see that, I suppose, but if you get content from Reddit, I can't think of a place where I'd less want to post content that I consider sensitive. I don't know, dude. A lot of those, not a lot, but like a good number of those submissions are throwaway accounts. So not only when we ask for permission to read these very sensitive subjects, sometimes they don't even read them because they just make the account to submit the thing and just get it off their chest. In some, even though it's incredibly anonymous, they just get it off their chest in some degree. And then me or Mary will swoop in and be like, hey, can I narrate your story as I push my glasses up? And they never read it because it's a throwaway account. So that happens a lot too. Yes, ghost, says Blitz. Okay, let me sneak in a ghost story in here. I gotta find one that's an appropriate length. So hold on. Sometimes, if you kind of get loosey-goosey with the rules, a paranormal story will also fit into a glitch in the Matrix video. It just depends on, the topic and whatever the fuck. Mary says, you're killing me, Derek. Killing me. All right, let's do the mimic in my house. Oop, almost. Hold on. Well, ghosts disappear and reappear, so it makes sense. Yeah, yes, they do, buddy. Yes, they do. Let's take advantage of that right now. The mimic in my house. Just wanted to share after seeing so many stories on TikTok. So, this is just one of my encounters through my short life so far. I've had many encounters before this and after this. Here's a little background info. 2 years ago, me and my family moved across states and moved into my current home. We usually have a lot of people in our house, and my family is usually outside on the porch. Some family was supposed to be flying back to the state we moved from that day. I was getting home from school last year and was walking through the door. My mom was walking past into her room, and I called out to her. She didn't answer me, so I just brushed it off. She didn't answer me, so I just brushed it off because she's pretty... Damn. She didn't answer me, so I just brushed it off because she has pretty selective hearing. My dad was outside smoking, so I went outside and gave him a kiss and a hug to let him know that I got home. Oh, and the 3 clicks mean something else too. I do 3 tongue clicks. I said doo-doo. I sat down and I told him that I saw Mom walking into her room and joked that she ignored me. My dad gave me a confused look and told me she was at the airport dropping some family off. I thought he was joking with me and laughed, saying she probably forgot something and was... Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we drying up? We better not be. Caca. I thought he was joking with me and laughed, saying that she probably forgot something and was just coming back to get it. I pulled up my phone to look at her location to prove that she was there, and it said that she was 45 minutes away at the airport. My dad looked at me weird. Damn. My dad looked at me weird and said, "Told you so." But the thing with my mom is, it's that she's kind of short. My sisters and I are all a couple of inches taller than she is. She also dyes her hair like an orange color, and one of my sisters has black hair, and the other one has dirty blonde. Nobody in our family really looks like her. Now, what's really the kicker in this story is that a week ago, or something? Why do you say or something? Okay. Now, what's really the kicker in this story is that a week ago, we were talking about our, ghost experiences in a group of me, my dad, and my mom. I retold my story, and my dad got this look on his face. He does that face when he doesn't want to say something scary. I pressed him on it, and it turns out that something similar happened to him. My dad's from Morocco, and his mom visits from time to time in the States. One time, when she was supposed to be in Morocco, he saw her walking up the stairs. He saw her walking up the steps to go upstairs. He was home alone. Me and my sisters were at school and work, and my mom was at my aunt's house. He chills on the couch a lot, and from sitting where he usually sits, you can see the top portion of the stairs in our house. He, being the man that he is, walked up the steps after he saw that she disappeared upstairs. He gets upstairs and sees her walk into the room that she would use when she lives with us. My dad walked into the room and, obviously, no one was in there. So, apparently, we have an entity that likes mimicking others. Oh, and I saw my mother completely solid. It looked like my mom, even down to what she was wearing that very morning. Damn, Bobby. All right. Robo voice for edit mode. Robo voice. I'd like to see an edit session where D-Rock reads drunk. But then he nails it. He says, I probably don't drink, and I do not. That would be totally fine. I would be happy to share his drink for him. Thanks, Sean. Next time you pour yourself a shot or a glass of something, do two. And do that other one for me. I spent an entire, probably year, trying to find a beer that I liked. Honest. Because, just like, and maybe it's a little bit typical, stereotypical, to like, damn, come home from a hard day of work. All you want to do is just get like some pizza and a beer and just chill on the couch, you know what I mean? I was like, cool, I want to do that every now and then. Let me find a beer that I actually like. But so I tried so many, all the name brand ones. I even did like some weird craft stuff from like, the corner of the liquor store. But dang, dude, I could not find a single beer that I liked. And I know that's blasphemous for some people, but I was on robo mode that whole time. But yeah, dude, I'll have a shot if it's somebody's birthday. I don't mind it. You know what I really like? And you're going to fucking hate me for this too. Anytime my wife and I go to like, on the border, or 3 margaritas or whatever, and she gets like the fruitiest blue coconut rum thing on the menu, I like that. I'll help her drink those. But no, man. I've gotten like, this is not a brag by any means, but I've gotten blackout on like vodka and different kinds of whiskey and stuff, but that was high school and college and just being dumb. I don't have a single drink that I would literally enjoy sipping on. IPAs are my favorite, but I know a lot of people don't care for those kind. Yeah, I didn't. I wanted to. I was determined. I spent a year doing this, dude. Buying a 6-pack, drinking 1, maybe 2, and then being like, no, still no, what else? I tried stupid, like, banana beers. I got wild, like, watermelon, what's the word? I don't know. Ciders? Like watermelon ciders even? Oh, all of it was a miss for me. Okay. Robo voice is on so I can edit.
Mr. Feeney!
Somebody just subscribed. I heard the little sound go off. Thank you. Thank you for that. Sean says, nothing wrong with that. Depending upon my cigar, Mike's hard is amazing. You mean to tell me Mike was hard when he made this lemonade? Alright, back to normal voice. You guys, chill for a sec. You're doing great. I'm going to pop up just to put some more water in my cup, and I will be right back. I do like some sweet tea, though. If I have any, like, vice, it's just that I consume way too much sugar. And most of it comes from my sweet tea. I was born in the South, so it's in my DNA, man. Alright guys, we did it. We successfully snuck in a ghost story in the Glitch in the Matrix video. Oh man, it's our little secret. Maybe I'll put it at the end. So everybody's asleep by the time they get to it. Or maybe I'll put it right up front. And have people be like, hey, this isn't a Glitch in the Matrix story. And then have them get really upset with me. Maybe I'll do that. Here's another story about your mom. Mom seemed to teleport out of the room in the blink of an eye. I really don't know how to explain this one. Weird stuff has been happening for the past few months. I put it down to the fact that I have existential OCD, and my OCD was playing tricks on me with mental images and the time, etc. But this one cannot be explained. I woke up this morning to my mom nagging me to get out of bed as we had stuff to do. Fair enough. I start getting up as she's across the bed from me, fiddling with the drawers. We talk a bit, and then she turns, I assume, to start heading out of the room. But keep in mind, she's very far away, as I have a very big room. I don't remember all of the ins and outs this morning as I had just woken up, but I legit itched my eyes for not even a second, and she was gone. I tried recreating it myself, and the only way to get out of that door in that time would be to full-on sprint, which she obviously didn't do, and even that's a push as I close my eyes for legit no more than a second. I asked her, and she said it's my brain again just playing with me, and nothing happened, but it clearly did. And this is one that I definitely cannot explain. I did, of course, just wake up, which doesn't help, but I feel like my perception is amazing. And when I think I see something, I would say I'm almost always right. And this just didn't make any sense. Listen to this comment that somebody left. Nope. You closed your eyes and dozed off for a moment, then woke up after she'd left. I've had this exactly happen to me. I blinked, quote, and the angle of the sun through the window jumped significantly. Same situation. I just woken up and felt normal, and I didn't change position or move, and it didn't feel like I'd gone back to sleep. It felt like a blink. They go on to say, one time as a child, I had this from... You can do it, Derek. One time as a child, I had this from dark to light, from dark outside to bright sunlight, so it must have been at least a couple of hours. I think it happens if you don't shift or move during sleep. OP responds politely, I don't think it was possible to doze off because I was sitting up. My bad, I forgot to mention this. As I was talking to her, I actually got up and was sitting in bed, not laying down. And then that dude and then there's more. He goes, it depends. Look up micro sleep. It's entirely possible to zone out for a few seconds, even while driving for some people. I can't stand people like this. Look it up. Look it up. I work at a, I'm not telling you, but I work with the general public, right? My customer base, my clientele is wide. I get to meet a lot of people. And some of those people love fucking talking about like conspiracy theories and how, you know, the government is going to start doing this and that. And sometimes I'm not an argumentative person. And I'm never going to be like, no, actually, this is what's going on. That's not going to be me because, first of all, I'm at work and I don't want to talk about this. But I'll ask them. I'm like, oh, okay, where did you hear about this? Because somebody was like, hey, you hear they're going to get rid of cash this year? No. But I'm like, oh, interesting. No, I hadn't come across that article yet. Where did you read it? You know, I'll ask them that question. And the answer is usually some form of, wow, well, you just got to look it up. And as soon as I hear that, like I'm done. Like you have to leave now. We're done. You have to say bye-bye, and then you have to turn around and walk out the door. Mary says, I cannot with conspiracy theorist people. Some of them are just funny to listen to. But I agree with you, dude. These people that are like, I don't even want to start a thing because it's going to be a thing. But people will just say the wildest stuff. And if you have any sort of, and I'm not like, again, I'm not arguing with them. I'm not even presenting my side of the story because I don't have a side. I could not care less. But when the question is, oh, interesting, where'd you hear that? Or where'd you read that? It's always, they get all out of breath and chuffy, and they're like, oh, well, you look it up. Look it up when you get home. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. And right then I'm like, okay, bye. Bye-bye. Not once has anybody cited a source. Any source, credible or not. No one's ever been like, oh, the National Enquirer, which is a bullshit magazine. Or even like, oh, CNN. Oh, I heard it on Fox. Oh, I heard it on this or that. It's always you gotta look it up. Just look it up. Okay. Let's get back to reading stories about moms disappearing. I don't know. I'm not reading this story. It's charging block vanished while I was charging my phone. I'm not reading this fucking story. I've got a couple of guidelines that I've just imposed on myself. And Mary, this has nothing to do with you. It's just a me thing. So don't change what you're doing or what you're going to be doing. But I'm not reading stories about people's phone chargers anymore. Or their vapes. I don't know. Anytime there's a story about a phone charger vanishing or Lost my vape for 4 days. I'm not reading those. So, let's do another one. Here's a simulation theory. Saw it on the internet. Must be true. Says somebody who makes content on the internet, but I'm not making wild ass claims. I do like the conspiracy theory that states Paul McCartney's been dead since the 60s. We can go off on that one. The conspiracy is Paul and like the Beatles bodyguard, I forget his name, Max, I think. They were driving on a rainy night, either going to the studio because they were late, or driving away from the studio, going home because it was late. Point is, it was dark and it was rainy, and it was just Paul McCartney and the bodyguard, or the chauffeur, or whatever. I don't know. Car crash. Paul's dead now, and this is at the absolute apex of Beatlemania. So the consensus was, we don't tell anybody that Paul died in this car crash in 1966, I think, because we want to avoid mass hysteria. We want to avoid, how do I put it? People despawning. I hate coming up with words. I hate the word unalive. We just don't want like a big influx of people saying bye-bye to the world because one of their favorite Beatles is gone now. So they hire like a dude that looks kind of like him, and then they make him undergo surgery to like make him resemble Paul McCartney even more, which is why you see Paul McCartney wearing a mustache shortly after this period, is because he's got scars healing on his mouth. and he's just been, and you know what's dumb, and I've never fact checked this, but I did look it up. Even the band members themselves, they start calling Paul Fall with an F. F-A-U-L. Or P-H-A-U-L, right? Because fall means, or like that sound just means fake, like fake Paul, right? And it's weird because you can hear them say fall in a lot of interviews after 1966. It's almost like they're trying to, they don't want to call him Paul because they know he's not Paul, so they call him Fall. I don't know. That one there is just wild enough. And I don't give a, and I don't care about the Beatles. I respect what they did for music, but I have no emotional attachments to the Beatles. I just think that's funny. There was like a bunch of evidence that was, all pointed to that being true, but who knows? I'm sure it's not. How about the conspiracy theory that oh, Mary, you're good. Yeah, don't sweat it. That was probably me because it was a recent one. It's probably me. How about the conspiracy that Hitler didn't commit that? He just went to South America after the war. Yeah, that's one. Tupac's still alive. Elvis is still alive. Michael Jackson's still alive. How about the conspiracy theory that the original Avril Lavigne is dead, similar to the Paul McCartney theory? Yeah. It's all the same stuff, dude. It's all the same stuff. This celebrity either has been dead for years, or this celebrity that we thought was dead isn't dead. It's just whatever. All right. Yeah, and you said it, dude. Another flawless narration, because I'm looking at it right now and there's no mistakes. Yay. I'm getting pretty good at this stuff. Starting to get the ropes of this reading out loud situation I found myself in here. Weird experience after sleep paralysis. So, I quit smoking weed this year. It was pretty easy to kick, but there were some side effects, mainly sleep-oriented. I started to have sleep paralysis every couple of weeks and very vivid dreams. I read that it wasn't uncommon. I've had sleep paralysis a few times when I was a kid, but the very last time was kind of strange compared to the other times. It started with a strange nightmare. The main thing that I took away from it was that the reality in the nightmare was somehow sentient. Anyway, I open my eyes and there's a triangular hole in the ceiling. I think to myself, what the heck? But before I can finish that thought, I have the realization that it's sleep paralysis. And when I realize that, I notice a very tall shadow entity beside me. It bends down, and I close my eyes and weakly start to whisper, "Please go away. Please go away," over and over again. After about 10 seconds, I open my eyes and everything is back to normal, except one thing. Going across the ceiling is a small patch in this weird, iridescent grid pattern. It was almost kind of holographic in nature, kind of purple and teal colored, and it lasted for a good long time. I'd never had that happen again before. Huh? Damn, I was so close. I'd never had that happen before. I'd never had that happen before after sleep paralysis, and it stuck with me ever since. I really felt like a slight hint that we do live in a holographic universe. I love that the triangular hole was purple and teal. Doesn't get any more 90s than that, baby. All right. The robo voice. The robo voice is on for editing. The Roy Boy voice. I'm dumb. Okay, and the editing is done. I made one little flub-a-dub-dub in that recording, and I fixed it. Rockin' Bell says, "Hey guys, just got home. How's it going?" Rockin' Bells, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here. I am reading Glitch in the Matrix stories, not ghost stories. Wink, wink. And just chilling in the chat, man. I know it's been a long time since I've streamed, months. And if you've got any questions, ask about my recording process. I've got like the recording audio software up on screen every now and then. Please ask. Please ask. I am looking for some conversation up in here. But we're doing great. Everybody's cool. Rocking around. I think I've had sleep paralysis once in my life. And it was not the scaredest I've ever been, but it was pretty dang close. I don't know, dude. I don't like stories with dreams in them, and I don't like talking about my dreams because nobody knows what a dream is, dude, and it's like they could be anything. And just because you dream about something, I know I read a story about dreams earlier today, but it was a good one, so I did it. I kept it in anyway. But it's like, I don't, There's no reality. There's no base. There's no like foundation. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that trope when you watch like a crazy movie or a TV show and like the wildest things happen, but then at the end, like somebody just wakes up and you go, oh, none of that even matters? Oh, okay. None of those events have any weight to them, and there's no cool, there's no, what's the word? Consequences? Oh, okay. It kind of feels like that. To me, at least. Couple more, guys. Couple more. We'll get there. Okay, this one's called Wafer Cookie Glitch. Not the craziest story, but I had a few wafer cookies left in their package that I didn't want to get stale, so I put the whole package in a Ziploc sandwich bag. I took them to bed with me 2 nights ago, and I ate them before bed. When I got to the last one, my dog tried to take it from me, and I looked at my husband and said, I would have been so mad if he got my last cookie. At which point, I crumpled up the bag and wrapper just to be sure that there weren't any cookies left, and then I set it on top of my headboard so my dog wouldn't eat the wrapper. Fast forward to yesterday. When I get home from work, I must have accidentally left the bedroom door open. I usually shut it because my dog likes to eat blankets. Anyway, on the bed is the wrapper from the cookies that the dog must have grabbed off the headboard, and when I picked it up to throw it away, there was still a cookie inside it. Now, I know for a fact that I would have noticed that cookie when I crumpled the whole thing up. And also, my dog is a savage and will tear through any wrapper to get to any food. So not only do I have no idea where one more cookie came from, I also have no idea how my dog pulled the wrapper down without finding and eating the cookie. That's a free cookie, man. Eat it. Eat it. It's a glitch cookie. I wonder if you eat that thing now, it like unlocks a glitch portal where freaky deaky things just happen. And then maybe, every time you go to throw away the package, just another cookie appears. Infinite cookie glitch. Do it. Rockin' Bell says, I used to get sleep paralysis as a kid, I think. I used to be unable to move, and I would hear people talking. Yeah, I don't even know if my thing is worth talking about because, and let me see if I can just quickly recall what I think happened in my probably 8-year-old brain. I was at my babysitter's house that I did not like. This old lady. She smoked. House was covered in like carpets and rugs and doilies and stuff. And I was sitting on like her like little love seat, love chair or whatever in the living room, and it was brown, of course. Everything in the whole house was brown or like some shade of orange or something. And I just remember sleeping in the chair in her living room, and this is fucking boring me already. I'm so sorry, but let me see if I can pull this out. I remember like feeling like I opened my eyes, and I remember seeing myself. And I remember seeing the room around me. But I also remember not being able to move myself. So it's like it was like an out-of-body thing. And and I think I don't know if I screamed or not, or like if I tried to scream, but that happened for like not a whole minute, but pretty dang close. And then eventually my body just forced my eyes open, and then I was awake. I don't know. See, that's why I hate dream stories, dude. It's because A lot of them are like super duper old, and anyway, you get it. Omar says, oh, by the way, one of your last live streams, I logged on and you yelled, Omar, what is going on? And my niece was right next to me, and she was like, yo, what the heck? Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. That's a selfish thing that I do, too, to other creators. Like when I've got a homie that's live streaming and I'm just chilling in the living room with the fam, I'll put it on and I'll, like, you know, make a comment that'll get them to say something or acknowledge me or something. And then it happens. It happens a lot, you know. I'll just be with the wife, and the wife is playing Switch or something, and the kids are, like, playing Switch or watching a movie, and all of a sudden my phone will go, hey, Derek's here, yay! And then they all look up and they go, hey, it's you. It's the same thing, dude. I do that too, on purpose, though. But that's because I'm selfish, and I just like being acknowledged. I think I got one more in me. But I need some help. If you guys, where are we at? You breaking that fourth wall? Yeah. So what I've decided to do, and I know the title of this stream isn't Content Creator Can't Decide When to Upload, but it is now, just for a second. When I used to do 2 30-minute episodes a week. That was cool. It did well. But then you know, like, longer videos on YouTube at least are doing better than shorter videos. And in my case, an hour, believe it or not, it's longer than 30 minutes. You know, I don't know where it is in in California, but in where I live, it's longer. So I was like, okay, maybe instead of doing 2 30-minute episodes a week, maybe I'll just do 1 weekly episode, but it's an hour long. YouTube likes that. The views are up, subscribers are up, but the podcast audience isn't loving that. And I don't know why. Because when I started doing hour-long weeklies, the podcast numbers started dropping. So my analytical creator brain goes, okay, well, maybe I keep doing hour-long YouTube episodes, but I'll split those up over, and I'll just go back to doing 2 30-minute podcast episodes a week, right? So essentially, a Wednesday or a Thursday on the podcast side, you get a 30-minute drop, and then you get another 30-minute on Sunday, like always. But on YouTube, both of those are just condensed into 1 hour-long Sunday drop. Which means the podcast audience is getting half of a video before the YouTube audience is. And I don't know what to think about that because of the, you know, early access stuff that I have here. So I need some help. I don't know if there's, you know, like a strategy that I'm missing or should be trying differently. So maybe I'm just talking to Omar or the channel members or something, but that's something I'm struggling with right now. Bi-weekly 1-hour episodes? Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe when this is like almost my job. I don't know how. I see narrators like B. Busta. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about some of my favorite narrators. At least when I started narrating. Corpse Husband, one of them, right? I mean, let me see if I can do it. Listen. Listen to how close my voice is to the mic right now, and then if I just whisper a little bit, and then I do that Kim Kardashian fry thing, it sounds like this. That's my Corpse. So Corpse, I listened to his 3-hour-long I hired a hitman to find me video. Crazy. I was like, oh, this is so riveting. It's nuts. So he was cool. Of course, you got Let's Read. He was cool. Still is. And then B. Busta. I thought there was pretty much only like 2 or 3 narrators on YouTube when I started. So I jumped into the community and was like greeted with open arms. Like immediately there were like 10 or 15 other narrators that were also just starting out or still very small that was like, hey Derek, come join us for collabs and stuff. And I loved that. It was then when I was like, oh, there's hundreds of narrators that are doing this thing on the internet. And then part of me was like, well, okay, I'm a very small fish amongst many other larger fish, right? That's the scary part. But there's another part of me that's like, okay, cool, where there's, Corpse did it. Let's Read hit 1 million a few months ago, maybe a year ago. So proof is there. People like this. I like this. Maybe we can all find each other and just like the same thing. So that was Mr. Nightmare. Yeah, Mr. Nightmare does videos that are shorter and not that often. He might have been the actual first scary story narrator on YouTube. And when you're the first to do something, you get to break all the rules. You get to. Let's Read got to 1 million subscribers in, 5-6 years not because he was the first, but because he changed a couple things. It took him 5 or 6 years to hit 1 milli, which is amazing. Congrats to him. But he started off doing wiki entries. I think there's even like a couple of Bible verses early in his channel, and some like historical stuff. And then he did creepypastas, and eventually he found his audience with the true scary stories. Took him a while to get there, but he got there. And then he did 3 uploads a week for years. Never missed a single one. Through sickness, through vacations, emergencies, never missed a single upload. So it takes that, to hit 1 million in 5 or 6 years. But when you're Mr. Nightmare and you're like, again, maybe he wasn't the first, but he was like the first big one. When you're like the first to do something, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. You can drop a 15-minute video once every 2.5 weeks and have that just do crazy numbers because you were the first one to do it 8 years ago or whatever, right? I'm losing my voice. I got to shut up and read. So yeah, good for him. That's dope. But nobody, I can't say nobody, I can't speak in absolute terms, but almost nobody can do what Mr. Nightmare does today and be that successful that quick. Omar, if you're still here, you are. That's what Creeper Keeper was for me when I was doing the Creeper Keeper channel. It was just me trying to just experiment with the Mr. Nightmare formula and the format and just see what happened. Because again, if you make stuff on the internet, everything is an experiment. And it did what it did for a couple months, and then I dropped it. Anyways, B Busta. Love that dude. He when he started doing 3 hours a week, I was like, oh, he must be reaching into his back catalog and just, marathoning these bitches. But he was doing that for weeks. And then for months, and then for a whole year. And I'm like, okay, he doesn't have that much content. He's straight up just doing 3 brand new hours a week. Since then, he's done almost 4 hours a week. It's always 3 hours and like 50 minutes or something. He's done that for many months now too. What was the point? Oh yeah. So I would love to do multiple hours a week, but I can't because I have a day job that's 40 hours. I saw a meme recently that was like, I accidentally became important at work and now it's ruining my life. which hits the nail on the head for me, dude. Like I need to be there. So anyway, yeah, one day I'd love to. What about Rockin' Bell says, what about doing a coin flip type thing? Heads you do shorter episodes that week and tails you do a longer one. Yeah, that just feels too chaotic, you know? That just has no consistency to it. I want my audience to like know what to expect, you know? I want them to be able to like see one of my videos in the algorithm, or like go searching for it and be like, yeah, cool. I want an hour-long, you know, glitch experience right now that I can work to, fall asleep to, and I don't want to scroll through a couple of weird 30-minute ones. I don't know. I'm definitely overthinking this, but still. I'm just trying to find out what works, dude. Omar says, there was another narrator that I love that isn't on YouTube anymore, King Spook. Why is he not on YouTube anymore? Is he just podcast only? I get it. I get that. I know a lot of big narrators that started out on YouTube, right? Because Mr. Nightmare did. And then they realized, oh, the podcast audience is much bigger. Oh, that means there's, you know, a bigger audience, more money, more opportunities for sponsorships, or this, or maybe the revenue is a little better on the podcast side than it is on the YouTube side. I don't know. So now a lot of these big narrators, yeah, they still do YouTube and like podcast stuff, but their mindset has switched. They're no longer a YouTuber that has a podcast. They are now a podcaster that has a YouTube channel. You know, it's a mindset thing. Is that what King Spook did? Or you can have Omar and I do a battle to the death with with Nerf guns. It's amazing. Better than what my brother and I did. We soaked our bullets in fruit punch. Nerf guns were then banned in our house. What? King Spook got banned for what? Whatever, dude. All right. Am I doing one more? Yes, I am. Let's do this. Oh, hold on. I gotta find one. Chill. Okay, yeah, I like this one. Oh, it's a short one. Okay. This one is called My Car Had a Black Hole. This happened in September of 2022. That day, I had gone fossil hunting and found a cool fossilized shark's tooth which was white in color. Later that afternoon, I had the tooth on my lap in the car waiting to show my girlfriend. And by dumb luck, when I moved, the tooth fell out of my lap, and I watched it slip in between my seat and the center console. Frustrated, I pulled my seat forward and went around back as it was easier to see underneath the seat from the back seat. To my surprise, there was nothing to be found. My car was already clean, but I decided to take the floor mats out, and still nothing. Also, there was a small gap in the upholstery floor. There was a small gap in the upholstery floor where wiring was, but that was covered up by the floor mat and only accessible from weird angles. Yet, when I lifted it up to check, still nothing was there. I spent a good 10 minutes checking under the seat and pulling everything out of the car to no avail. I even checked the ground outside my car in case I had just imagined watching the tooth slip into the gap between the seat. Sadly, I never found the tooth, and the only proof that I have of its existence was a picture that I took right after finding it. Black hole car. Oh, interesting. Rockin' Bell says, I heard that too. I think it was because he got strikes for not having permission to read the stories. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing, man, which is why it's so important for me to get permission to read all these things, dude. Not only because it's the right thing to do, but also because, like, you can get, like, in trouble if you don't. Not trouble, but, like, your shit's gone. And there's, like, whole watchdog communities that look for channels that are, you know, quote-unquote stealing content. Not even quote-unquote, just, like, legitimately swiping stuff off the internet and just performing it as if it was their own, you know? And don't even get me started on AI narrators, dude. Ugh. I used to like this channel that had like a real human narrator, but they were gone for a while. And then when they came back, it was an AI voice. And I felt let down. I was like, yeah, the channel that I liked is back. Yes! But then when I heard it, it was obviously an AI voice, and it's just so obvious and disheartening. Didn't make me feel good. Mr. Black Pasta is newer, but his content is top-notch. Omar says he has several channels. He separates them based on content. Yeah. Ooh. Omar says of the 16 people that are here, are 14 of them asleep? Maybe. Maybe, dude. It's all good. It's, you know, not everybody's going to chat, and that's okay, man. I mean, as much as I would like to make new friends and have the chat just fly across the screen there, it's all good. Not everybody's going to participate, and that's okay. I'm just glad they're here to some degree. And Rockin' Bell says, and that's why we can't have nice things. Either the Matrix or YouTube gets it. It's true. That's good. Okay, I'm going to spend just a couple more minutes editing the end of this episode. Vomi says I couldn't sleep because the discussion sounded interesting. Sorry to keep you up, Vomi. Sorry. Oh, I feel so bad. Sorry. So my family and I, we finished Adventure Time tonight before bed. Do we have any Adventure Time fans in the chat? Be honest, because I am. 10, 20, 30. Going quiet just so I can focus on this editing thing real quick. Sorry. Don't mind me. Just radio silence for a minute. Yeah, it is cool to see that you're still here. Omar says, I didn't know what Adventure Time was until just recently. It is such a wild and beautiful show. I love it. There's 10 seasons of like the original, you know, proper series. 10 seasons? 9 seasons? Something like that. And for the last several months, maybe since summer started, we would just watch like 2 or 3 episodes before bed. And that became like part of our family routine. And we finished the last episode tonight. And it was a good one. It was really good. Oh, Rockin' is wanting an abridged version. That makes me think of the 4-star DBZ abridged. That's good stuff. Somebody asked me recently if some of the glitch sound effects in my videos are Pokemon from like Game Boy games. You know how like when you would hit them, they would go like, but it'd be all like glitched out and stuff. And well, yes is the answer. Some of the glitch sound effects are just Pokemon. My secret is out. Uh, 15. Pod. Okay. Okay, I think I'm back. Vami says, meant to ask, do you like being scared, the narrator? Yeah, I like his work ethic and how, like, very serious he takes himself and his craft. That's admirable. I think that's something to look up to. I also like that he, does, like, the ghost face Scream house tours. That's pretty cool. And I don't know, he seems to keep those two things, those two parts of his life very separate, I think, because I don't think I've ever heard him mention the ghost house tours in a video, or maybe I just don't watch enough. But I know that like when I see like the ghost tours on YouTube, not once has he ever been like, oh, and I'm also being scared. Hey, go check me out. There's not that like cross promotion, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people do. So I think that's pretty cool. Like he's got two kind of different, let's just call them obsessions, and he doesn't let them bleed into one another, which is, I don't know. I don't know why I like that. I just do. Rockin says, well, that makes sense since when you consider missing number using Pokemon sound effects. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I felt called out in that moment when the person, I don't know who it was, but they're like, hey, are some of your glitch sounds just Pokemon being defeated in Game Boy Color or whatever? I'm like, yep. Busted. They are. Yeah, thanks, Filmy, for that question. I do like being scared. He's got that app. I forget what it's called, though. It's a horror narration. It's a horror, like, voiceover app where you get to, like... It's, it's the same stuff that's on YouTube, like a lot of us do, but it's in the app. And he kind of, like... curates a bunch of, what the fuck is it called? Chilling. The Chilling app. Yeah. I've talked to him a couple times about just a few projects. And one of them was me basically like asking, hey, can I be on Chilling? And he politely told me to go fuck off. It's pretty cool. Everyone's like, Chilling. Yeah, that's what it is. My favorite part about Chilling is that you can customize the volume of everything and you can like select the ambience. So if you're just in the mood for a scary story with rain, or that same scary story with like wind ambience or in a field ambience, you can customize that yourself, and you can also dictate the volume. So if you want like a bunch of rain and a little bit of narration, you can do that. I think that's the coolest part about Chilling. And I got some buddies that are on the app too. They're doing good. But yeah, no, honestly, it just made no sense for me to be on that app because I had, I don't know, 2,000 subscribers at the time. And it's got to be mutually beneficial. Like, he's not going to put somebody on with what, you know, what is relatively a small, what the fuck am I saying? You know what I'm saying. I'm proud of the 5K subscribers that I have, but you know, at the time I had 2 or 3. Proud of those too. But when he's hiring narrators that have minimum 50K, oftentimes many, many more, to be on the app, and then here I am with like the 2 or 3K at the time. I'm like, can I hang out in your club? Yeah, no, he's good on him for telling me no. Rockin says his loss. Nah, it's all good. Probably not. Probably not. So this 30-minute episode that I just recorded and edited will be on the podcast tomorrow. And I'm editing right now. Omar says, what's the minimum amount of subs you need to be on Chilling? I don't know. I think the smallest, with very little research I've done, the smallest sub count that I ever noticed from somebody that was on Chilling was like 30K. I don't know. I don't think I asked him that question verbatim, and he certainly didn't give up the information, because really it's just whatever's mutually beneficial. You know what I mean? Like, it would be cool for him to put me on there for me, because I'd get to grow my audience, and I would, you know, it's a paid gig. I'd get to make, you know, be that much closer to working less than my day job. But what's in it for him? You know what I mean? That he can't get elsewhere or better. So it's whatever. Rockin says, is it a glitch that my chihuahua just stole half of my ham and cheese sandwich? Well, if you submit your story to DerekWeberSubmissions@gmail.com, then yes, it's considered a glitch. Omar says 30K is doable for you. Yeah, thanks, dude. I really appreciate that. I mean, eventually. I just got to keep grinding, keep doing the thing. And that's part of it too, is like finding out what works and what doesn't work. And I hate to bring this up again, but like the lo-fi stuff that you and I really love doesn't do it. When you have a YouTube channel, you can get into like to the back end analytics, and you can like group things by, okay, this video has the most views, this video gained me the most subscribers, whatever you want, right? And when you do that and you start getting really analytical and you dive into like which videos and what kind of videos are doing the most growth for your channel, you start to see patterns and you go, oh, okay, glitch stories, for me at least, doing really good. 3-hour-long glitch videos, doing very good. Luckily for me and my narration community, is I get to put up several hour-long episodes over the course of a month, and then I get to re-upload those as one big 3 or 4 hour compilation. Those videos, a lot of my like hardcore binge listeners, they don't love them because they've heard all the stories before. But those 3-hour plus videos, they go out to a brand new audience. YouTube pushes those to brand new people that get to see me for the first time. The goal is those people like the 3-hour episodes, they hit subscribe, they stick around for the 1-hour episodes. And even if they don't, they'll watch the 3-hour long episode that drops next month, you know, because that's what they came for. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting while I upload this audio to the podcast right quick. Omar says, doing a live stream when you got 30K, I'll never get a word in. And you know what? Maybe. What was I just going to say? Yeah, I don't like participating in big creators chats because I want to feel a connection to the creator. And if their chat is just, all the way across the screen, and they're replying to 1 out of every 20 comments that they just happen to look at the chat and then read that particular one in the moment and then go off on a tangent for another couple minutes before they go back to the chat and read another comment, I don't know. That isn't fun for me. So, but then you get the what the fuck? The members only streams. So at that point, that's when it really makes sense to do a members only stream, is when like nobody can even like ask a question in the regular chat. So the members only chat is a lot more smaller, obviously. Omar says you should re-upload your older videos, because maybe not a lot of people heard those. I re-upload to the older videos as a comp. I did, dude. I did. You got great ideas. I told you before. Like, you're on it. You got good ideas. And what I ended up doing was, for like 3 or 4 months straight, I basically just compiled. I had like a year's worth of creepy encounter stories, glitch stories, of course, stalker stories, all very like compact, well-organized, themed stories that I just put out over the span of a year. Well, I put all of those into like 3-hour-long compilations, and I had enough basically to like front load 2 or 3 months worth of content that was basically just re-uploads in the 3-hour mark. I think it was last summer that I did that. So if you want to scroll back to like last June, July, August, September, you'll see I was putting out 3 hours a week, because I was able to just basically re-upload marathon content in that same regard. But guess which theme did the most? Without question. It was Glitch, which I'm thankful for. I like Glitch. Vomi says, yeah, it's like going to a small dive bar as opposed to a huge concert stadium. For sure. Yeah. Alright, not ignoring, just uploading for a second. August. Boom. Got to schedule this and then get ready for bed. I thought the dark web ones did well too. They did at first. They really did at first. So that was kind of like my jam. I started out doing dark web stories. That's why. You want to know a secret? That's why my name is Derek Weber, because it looks a lot like dark web. And I did that on purpose. But I did so many glitch stories so consistently for so long that when I put out a dark web video, it didn't do well. So when I put out your average hour-long glitch video every Sunday, it always does good. It always gets more views than the last one. Channel's growing. It's doing great. Right? And again, you can go into the back end of your analytics and you get to see, okay, out of the last 10 videos, this one you just posted is performing better than all of them. Or it's the second best or the third best out of the last 10 that you've uploaded. All of my glitch videos do that. And all of my dark web videos did for a while, until I went super ham on the glitch videos. So when I posted a dark web thinking, oh, this is going to be easy, this is going to be good, people like the dark web videos, it wasn't. It was like not the 10th, like the worst out of the last 10, but pretty dang close. And I thought, okay, weird. Maybe nobody was on YouTube that day. Right? So I did some more glitch videos. Those did good. And then I put out a second hour-long dark web video. And it didn't do good. And I went, okay, 2 times in a row now, dark web videos tanked for me. the audience is telling me something, or the audience that's found me is telling me something. So that's why that's why on the last dark web video, you probably saw Omar. I called it like Red World. Yeah, I called it the Red World series, because if that ends up doing good for some magical reason, that might go in its own channel. But so far, I don't know if it is. Omar says, yeah, I know that's where your YouTube screen name came from. You told me before. Okay, for sure. I didn't know. Plus, there's more people in the chat than there usually are, so guaranteed not everybody knows. But yeah, Derek Weber isn't the government name. It's just my YouTube name. Which is ironic, because now now when I put a dark web video out, it doesn't do good. Rockin says, I listen to compilations when I'm doing art or studying random subjects. Omar says, maybe change your name to Matt Ricks Glitch. Welcome to the Matt Ricks Glitch channel. That's good. Still just excuse me, uploading the podcast audio. So if you're curious, you can listen to these stories in their final edited, form, not only on YouTube, obviously, which is where you are now, but on audio only as well, on Spotify, Apple, and I think I saw myself on iHeartRadio too. So if you got any of those three, you'll find me on there. Oh, excuse you. Yeah, I don't know how B-Busta does 4 hours a week. That's crazy, man. Omar says, I follow you on Spotify, but I'm hardly on there compared to here. That's all good, man. I appreciate the Spotify follow. They're doing some new, and exciting features, Spotify specifically. They, you can, leave comments now on Spotify episodes. I can have polls, questions, and if you leave a comment on an episode on Spotify, I can reply to it as well. It's kind of like its own little social media thing over there, which is cool, at least in my opinion. I don't think you can do that on Apple or iHeart, but Spotify, it really is pushing this conversation aspect where I get to kind of talk to you directly on the Spotify app. I think that's kind of cool. But of course, we can do all that and more on YouTube. So I don't think you're really missing out on anything. Okay. Oh no, they're turning it into social media. Soon it'll be a dating app. Bell says, where did you two meet? Who are you talking about? Me and Omar? Let me know, because I want to know. I want to know who you talking about. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a comment. Okay. Where did you guys meet? Oh, we met on Spotify. It was True Love at First Playlist. That's good. Guys, that's the stream. We did it. We made it all the way to the end. I want to thank you for hanging out. I am losing my voice. It's going to be hurting tomorrow. But it's cool because the episode comes out. This 30-minute episode will be out tomorrow at 5 Mountain Time, which is a different time than you if you're in a different time zone. I'm bad at time zone math. But, of course, if you want to wait for the hour-long episode to drop on YouTube, that'll still go up Sunday at also 5 Mountain Time. Okay. Thanks, guys. Love you all. I'm going to let it run for a minute, but I'm gone.